we have framed it in this manner. And in fact, even before I talk about it, I think we want the entire sessions to be as interactive, as engaged as possible. So if I were to frame this particular moment as India's defining AI regulation moment, I want to hear from you at least a couple of opinions on this particular phrasing. Anybody wants to talk about it? Sure. Absolutely. So please do introduce yourself. We'd love to know you.
This is Avichal, practice technology at High Court of Karnataka.
Mhm.
And I'm very excited to be here when I saw about this. I'm really curious to see how this ecosystem is providing more information on this,
Mhm.
and probably how I can add value to this.
Mhm.
Yeah, so coming to this topic,
Mhm.
India defining AI governance moment. From the central government perspective and the government side, because I'm from the legal side, I would say, to focus on more on sovereign AI models,
Mhm.
so that it's not only human centric, it's responsible, and it safeguards
Mhm.
our country's interest,
Mhm.
keeping balance with the innovative development, keeping at par with what global ecosystem is working on AI.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. Uh, Okay, so with that, I'm going to possibly share with you our own internal understanding of what India's defining AI governance moment means. So, my fellow travelers in this age of AI, like I want to call all of you, uh, there is a interesting Sanskrit thought that I would like to begin this session with. It goes on to say, Aham Brahmasmi, I do carry a microcosm of universal intelligence, consciousness within my own being, right? At possibly gene level, at atomic level, we do have intelligence that's beyond us. Now, I want to juxtapose this with a very interesting thought from Richard Sutton, who is considered the godfather of machine learning and reinforcement learning. In his quote, he himself further quotes Alan Turing and says that we want to make machines which can learn from experience. So today, we are living in the world of experience of AI agents as they are learning, interacting, and improving and drifting. That's the state of this profound computational history that we are at. Now, in this world, what does intelligence mean? What does consciousness mean? What does agency mean? Now, these are really fundamental questions to be asking. Now, how does human autonomy mean in a world where all the decisions are being mediated by agents, right? So, what does human autonomy mean in this world? Now, while we think really deeply about all of this, what is also important to know is that AI systems are absolutely stochastic. They are not deterministic anymore. We are not in a world where data has a predefined flow. Inputs are predefined and outputs are predefined. We are living in an absolutely constantly changing world, and regulation and governance is evolving, and both of them are simultaneously evolving. So that is the strategic, basic problem. I would not even say problem, an opportunity of this age. So that's where we are at. And few things that possibly ground this in fact philosophical dialogue is the fact that humanity always in history has been thinking profoundly around what is greatness, what is super intelligence, what is magical across history, mythology, religion, and culture. And India has done that as well. A very interesting analogy that I want to bring out is the longest lived trees in the world. Does anybody know? Excellent. That's a good. So redwoods are the class of species. There is a subspecies in redwoods called bristlecone pines, and they live in North California. They are still alive. They are 6,000 years old, and they are protected. So imagine a tree living, having seen going beyond the documented living history of humans, and what kind of endurance, adaptability, and possibly biological intelligence it requires to live that long and to survive here, right? So that is one thing to think about. Humans have been fascinated by intelligence overall. Another interesting thing is, earlier on in my career at Microsoft, while we were building speech recognition systems, we as humans also have this fascinating creative delight in creating something that is unique, magical. So even when speech recognition systems for the first time began to learn on their own, we were absolutely amazed. So this sense of amazement at super intelligence on things beyond our understanding has pushed us to drive AI innovation further and further in today's world. Now, why? How does all of this place in the context of India? It is also extremely important. So interestingly, I'm going to flip through my notes so that I can give you enough information about this. So few nations operate at the intersection of democratic complexity as much as India, and the societal scale and regulatory ambition. And India understands scale. We are a nation of 1.4 billion people with extraordinary linguistic, economic, educational, and cultural history. Because India understands pluralism, right, across languages, across cultural identities, across faith, we understand the realities of the scale. And because India understands frugal innovation, India has demonstrated repeatedly that we can do large-scale public infrastructure built with affordability. So these are all the things that actually place us at a unique position to look at AI regulation at scale. So now the question remains, how do we define governance and also operationalize it? Operationalization is the key. And while we go through this conclave, you're going to hear many thoughts, views around how do we go about it. But the core notion is that we all come together as a community, find solutions that can be used for governance, that scale, those are robust, and we hopefully create an exemplary path for India that the world also hopefully adopts from. So that's the entire context around India's defining AI governance moment.